Doing any kind of ranking in the Halloween franchise is always contentious, and it always sparks a debate. But I've seen your comments over the last few months, so I decided today I'm going to rank every version of the Halloween theme from my least favorite to the best.
We stopped at a light and saw him walking in that field behind the Lost River Drive-In. Julie said he was so creepy.
Hey, what is up everybody? Nick here, and today I want to talk to you guys about every version of the Halloween theme, and we're going to rank them from my least favorite to my favorite. But before we get into this video, I do have to say that Halloween 3 will not be included on this list. No, not because it's not a Halloween movie, but because it is not the Halloween theme. See, the Halloween theme that I am referencing, that I'm ranking here, is specifically the theme from Halloween movies with Michael Myers. Also, as is the case with every ranking, it is subjective. This is just my opinion. I am not telling you unequivocally this is the worst and this is the best. No, it's just my opinion. Though I do think number 1 is probably inarguable, but we'll get there when we get there. Coming in at number 12, my least favorite theme in the Halloween franchise is, without a shadow of a doubt, Halloween 5: The Revenge of Michael Myers. Now, a lot of you guys know that I love this movie, but even with that being the case, I've never loved this theme. I just feel like it sounds way too slowed down. It doesn't even sound like it's in the right time. It always stuck out to me. I actually quite dig the sped up, chopped up version that we get in the opening credits when we get into the jack-o'-lantern carving and then into the recap of Halloween 4. But every other time the theme appears in this movie, it just feels off. It doesn't feel like the Halloween theme. It is in structure, I guess, but it just doesn't sound right. And then fittingly, in 11th place, right after Halloween 5, is Halloween 4. Now, over the years, I've heard a lot of people really defend this rendition of the theme. They really like what Howarth did here. I'm not even saying that I don't like it, because I feel like when you are doing any kind of rendition of probably my favorite horror theme song ever, I'm bound to like it somewhat. However, I do feel like it's just a little too high-pitched. It sounds a little too metallic for me. There's just something about it that seems inorganic, and I also don't think it really fits the movie all that well. You know, you open the movie with this kind of cold open, this very atmospheric, moody and spooky kind of vibe, and then you just get into like, it's like, no, I'm not about this. I've just never really liked this theme. And also, do not plan on me doing an impersonation of every version of this theme because I realize how ridiculous it sounds. Now, in Halloween 4's defense, I will say this was very 80s. And this isn't the only theme in the franchise that kind of sounds like this, but this is definitely near the bottom of the barrel for me. Next up at number 10 is going to be one that might be controversial, but it's also never been a big favorite of mine, and that is Halloween 2 from 1981. Now, this is the over-synthesized score. Like, it just is. And this was peak 80s. Like, you listen to Halloween 2's score and you're like, oh yeah, this came out in the 80s, didn't it? It just feels like that time. I appreciate Alan Howarth really trying to bring some flavor to this and make it stand apart from the original. And it definitely does. You're not going to mistake Halloween 2's theme for the originals. However, just like Halloween 4, it sounds very metallic and almost too loud. If you're listening to the original Halloween theme or a lot of renditions of the theme, it is a nice listen. This one is like an assault on the ears sometimes. It's just turned up to 11 and it doesn't need to be. Next up at number 9 is going to be Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers. Now, just like with Halloween 2 and Halloween 4, Alan Howarth was definitely bringing in elements of the time into the score of Curse. This has an electric guitar heavily featured throughout it, and like at times it's really cool. I actually dig that switch up, but also it feels insanely dated compared to most versions of the theme. I really do dig it at some points in this movie because Michael Myers is so unforgiving. He's like a freight train, and I feel like that electric guitar just like amps me up. It feels like it's amping Michael up too. It works perfectly throughout this movie. But you're not going to mistake this version of the theme for any other, and it feels very 90s. So while I have nostalgia for it, it's not one of my favorites. Coming in 8th place is going to be one that might shock some of you, and that is Halloween 2018. Okay, so I'm just going to say right off the bat, I don't feel like the composition of this is bad at all. I think that John Carpenter, Daniel Davies, and Cody Carpenter did a fantastic job with all three of these scores in the Blumhouse trilogy. My problem with Halloween 2018's theme is that it feels like it's trying way too hard to sound just like the original. There are multiple pieces of music throughout this score, the 2018 film, that stand out, that feel very classic while also being modern. This one feels like it's trying really hard to harken back to that, to a point where it almost feels like a cheap copy. Because there's something about that original theme and the way it sounds, you just can't make theme songs that sound like that anymore. And Halloween 2018 did not do a good job at all of trying to be the original theme, and it very much stands out to me. Coming in at number 7, almost halfway through this list, you guys are probably shocked you haven't seen this movie mentioned yet. But I've always liked the rendition of the theme, and that is Halloween Resurrection. There is just about nothing that Resurrection does right. And I don't even really feel like I'm exaggerating. It is that bad, in my opinion. Except this rendition of the theme by Danny Lux is actually really good. It feels very large, but not too loud. It's really hard to explain this sometimes when you're talking about music. You're hoping that people can understand what you mean, because it's really hard to give characteristics for a theme song. But I feel like that's fair. There's also this interesting, airy kind of feel to it. It almost feels like wind is in the background there. It's kind of hard to explain. But I've always really dug the theme. And I think it works really well in the scene where Michael is walking through the underground tunnel after killing Laurie, leaving the sanitarium. I think that moment is perfect, aside from Brad Lurie's walk. But look, as much as I don't like the movie, I gotta give credit where it's due. It's a good version of the theme. Next up at number 6 is going to be John Ottman's theme from Halloween H2O. When it comes to Halloween H2O, we know there was a lot of issues with the mask, with the score. That's just kind of baked in at this point. However, the one piece of John Ottman's score that stuck in the final cut of this movie is that very orchestral version of the theme song. It is a version of the theme that you cannot mistake for any other movie in the Halloween franchise. Look, John Ottman was trying a lot of interesting things with the score with this movie. He really wanted it all to be orchestral and choirs and stuff. I don't know if that would have all totally worked, but the composition for the theme song is aces. I love it. It feels very classy. It feels very big while not being too loud. I love the crescendo up into, I guess, what would be like a chorus. It is a fantastic version of the theme. And for a movie that was supposed to be an anniversary event, a coming face-to-face after 20 years and be special, this theme really packs that with it. All right, so now we're in the top 5, and everything here is really hard for me to pick between, but I have to, so I'm going to draw a name out of a hat, and coming in at number 5 is going to be Halloween Kills theme. Some of you may not have noticed this, but every version of the theme in the Blumhouse trilogy is slightly different. And Halloween Kills theme feels very much like a choir is behind it. It's very quiet compared to some other renditions of the theme. There's not a lot going on behind the main track here, and I actually really dig that. It almost feels like it's isolated. It is just the piano with this choir backing. It feels big, it feels large, but not too loud and not too much in your face. This is a really gorgeous piece of music, and I think it works perfectly for this movie because it gives this air of ghostliness. It's kind of intimidating, and I don't know if Michael Myers has ever been more intimidating than he was in Halloween Kills. Coming in 4th place is going to be Halloween Ends version of the theme song. The difference with the theme here is it very much feels like it is cribbing off of the original. It feels like a more cut and paste version of that original theme song. However, there are a few moments where it actually sounds like there's like a storm happening in the backtracks, and I love that. When the music first kicks in, you hear what sounds like thunder, and I've always dug that. I don't know what it is about it. It is such a minor detail, but as soon as it kicks in, I am immediately gripped by it. I think it's easily the best version of the theme in these three movies, and definitely one of the best versions of the theme, period. All right, so top three, the three best versions, and this is really, really hard. But at number 3 is going to be Tyler Bates' version from Halloween 2007. Look, I think it is pretty inarguable that whether you love or hate Rob Zombie's Halloween, it's a really good version of the theme. This version by Tyler Bates feels very industrial. It feels really powerful. This thing packs a punch. It feels gritty. I mean, I don't know how else to put it aside from that it sounds very much like a Rob Zombie-esque score. It is perfect for this movie. Michael in this movie packs a punch. He is unrelenting. He's unforgiving. He's absolutely brutal. And this theme song is as well. And as it builds, it gets louder and louder. And I love at the beginning of it how there's this like kind of distorted, almost ghostly voice. I don't even know. It's hard to explain this stuff, but it's so friggin' good. Coming in at number 2 is going to be Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 theme. So the differences with this theme and the 2007 theme are super minute. Like they're really hard to spot. It's little bits here and there that sound a little bit different. So they're kind of the same. However, I am specifically including in this as well the rendition of the theme that was in the very first teaser trailer for this movie when it dropped. I have been searching the internet to try to find this, and I cannot find it, but maybe I'll jog some of your guys' memory, because when I heard this for the first time, I was like, oh my god, this is incredible. It is like this version of the theme that is like, Michael
Myers.
I know he's not gonna come back just because of some stupid holiday.
Are you a giant?
It's just like this very empty, a few notes, stop, get this like warp sound, and then a few more notes, stop. It was insane. Like, I heard this thing for the first time. I remember watching this teaser trailer being like, yo, is this a theme we're going to get like throughout the movie? And then ironically, you would literally only get the theme once in this movie, and it wasn't that. But oh my God, I still love this version of the theme. You know, even if you don't want to include that, you just want to say the like main theme for the movie that you hear in the end credits, that's fine. I'm still putting it at number 2. And then in first place has got to be John Carpenter's original theme from Halloween. There isn't a version of the theme in this franchise that touches this one. There's just something so classic about it. It sounds so raw. It's super simplistic, yet insanely iconic. That 5/4 time, that noise throughout this song that's just like... It's just something that you cannot replicate. Movies like Halloween 2018 have tried to recreate this theme, and you just can't do it. John Carpenter's Halloween would not be the movie it is and would not have built the franchise that it did if this theme was not as good as it is. This is incredible. It's easily one of the best pieces of music in film, let alone horror cinema. And it is clearly, head and shoulders, the best version of the theme song. So that was really interesting to do. To try to explain different versions of the Halloween theme to you using adjectives and words that I don't know if they always made sense. trying to paint a picture, but maybe to some of you, you were just like, what the hell is he talking about? But I tried, and I personally am hoping that it made enough sense to you that you could get where I was coming from. But I want to hear down below in the comment section what you guys think. What's your least favorite version of the theme, and what's your favorite? Whatever it is, chime in the comment section below. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for watching the video. Please make sure to leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is Nick at the Lost River Drive-In, and I'm pulling out.